it's Elle and welcome back to my channel and happy Foundation Friday. Today we are wrapping up, well, we have two more videos to come on the best of 2019, but we are wrapping up our foundation and powders today, and I have really tried my best to condense everything that I feel was super amazing in 2019 considering foundations and powders. So before we get started, hit the subscribe button, share this video with somebody you think might like it, and let's do it. Boy, has this year been a huge year for foundations. I mean, it felt like there was a foundation coming out every 2 weeks, and we tried most of them. There are a few great ones from 2019 that I can no longer talk about because they are not cruelty-free, but the ones that I have here are super amazing. You've heard me talk about them a million times, but they all are cruelty-free. All right, so the first one. This is the one I actually have on as we speak, just because I think it's so awesome to use when you're trying to get ready really quickly, and it is the Westman Atelier Stick Foundation. The blushes, by the way, that come with this brand are absolutely out of this world stunning, and it is so beautiful, easy to use. What I like about this foundation is that it mimics your skincare. A lot of these foundations do the same, but this one specifically, it's made by Gucci Westman, who is a very famous makeup artist, but it depends on what you kind of put underneath it. So if it's a hydrating primer, or if you've really prepped the skin and hydrated it really well, it really takes on the effect of what you have on the skin first. So if I was to use an illuminizing primer, which I did not do today, it would be a lot more dewy and glowy. So that's why I think this is one of those universal foundations. Now the price tag on it is pretty hefty, and the finish of it is like more of a skin-like finish, and the coverage I would say is a light medium coverage, but it is so beautiful for mature skin. It is one that I've been collecting over the past several months for my kit. It's very easy to use with a damp or dry beauty blender, your hands, a brush. It's just a beautiful foundation. All right, so sticking in the same vein, this one I haven't talked about in a while, but I started wearing it again as well. It's the new Bare Minerals Rescue Complexion Stick Foundation. It is, for me personally, now we have to remember I have dry to normal skin, so I need something that has a little bit more emolliency to it. This is such a beautiful, glowy, dewy, easy to use foundation. It has great skincare ingredients in it, as well as the Westman Atelier does. It is such a beautiful foundation. It is, again, easy to use. It has SPF in it. It really is like a skincare hybrid makeup. Now that doesn't happen very often, and I don't talk about a lot of them because they just aren't really effective, but they do have some really nice studies out that are with the brand of the effectiveness of the skincare in this cosmetic if you wear it on a more religious basis. But I absolutely love this foundation, and it's so travel friendly. It's perfect for going into warmer months as well. It is just a little bit more dewy, and it has a little bit more coverage. So for me, I love this one. This will come as no surprise. This is the Kosas foundation. It is the tinted face oil. I am in number 4, and this is the one that I have been wearing for a while. It's more of, for me, a summer foundation, and the reason being is just because I love the way the skin looks, because it is an oil. So it's definitely much more dewy. It's very youthful. The skin looks so hydrated, plumped. It's just a beautiful foundation. It's a very different type of foundation. It's definitely meant, in my opinion, for more of that dehydrated to normal skin type. It is just, and it's like I would say a light medium coverage. It's not a ton of coverage, but it's definitely a slap on and go product. It'll just make your skin look so glowy and dewy. Cream products go on beautifully over it. All right, so this is the one I actually wore in my video that I did 2 days ago, and I can't stop wearing it. This is not new. This has been out for a while, but it's new to me, and it is the Illusion Hyaluronic Skin Tint from Hourglass. I am in color Warm Ivory. It goes on stunning with your hands. That's how I use it. It is definitely more of a medium coverage. I think it's one of the most beautiful tinted moisturizers that's come out in a very long time, or that I have discovered in a very long time. I think it just makes the skin look really radiant. You don't necessarily need to set it if you don't want to. It's definitely one of those that I will not go without being in my arsenal. It is so completely gorgeous, and it just makes the skin look so dewy and luscious and like perfect looking. It's a beautiful formulation. So yeah. All right, so let's get into more of the traditional liquid foundations that I found to be super inspiring this past year. The first one I will start with because I talk about it all the time, and so I don't need to harp on it again, but it is the Kojin Dough Aqua Foundation. It's a showstopper. It is a light medium coverage. It goes on great with any tool. This is one of those that I will wear if I really would like to be perfected, and just a very gorgeous skin-like finish to it. It is definitely a little bit more glowy because it's obviously called aqua, so it's hyaluronic acid, a lot of skincare ingredients in here, lots of plumping properties to this foundation. I love this foundation. It is my second bottle, and I don't think I'll ever go without this. It's 123. That's the one I am at. By far, holy grail. All right, so for the last three is going to be the Anastasia, the brand new launch. It's her vegan foundation, the Luminous Foundation. This is a full coverage, I would say a high medium full coverage foundation. Gorgeous. One of my absolute favorite ones that I have tried this year. I think all of these foundations are perfect for anybody that is 30 and up, especially more mature. As you know, I'm 40 years old, so I need something that is going to really perform. This is definitely really long wearing. This is probably one of the most long wearing foundations out of the bunch, and it is just so gorgeous, and it really does what it says. It is not overly hydrating. The finish of the skin is so beautiful, and just a very like natural, approachable skin, but it definitely has some coverage to it. You can of course tone that down, but I love it because this is what I wear to events, like when I really need to look perfected, or out to dinner or things like that. But this is a well-performing foundation. By the way, I have Foundation Fridays on all of these foundations, so if you want a little bit more in depth, I will link the playlist below in the description box, and you guys can check that out. All right. My last two. Elle Maquillage. I mean, it's a really great traditional medium coverage foundation. A beautiful foundation. They do samples online. They're great return policy, and it is just one of those that's just a well-performing, well-made foundation. I've enjoyed every moment wearing it. I am a 045. It's called Woke Up Like This. It's a very much in social media driven foundation, and it is just beautiful. And their customer service is bar none some of the best I've had. And for the final, it is the Smith & Colt Veiled Thread Weightless Micro Blurring Foundation. This was one of the newer ones towards the end of 2019 for me. I love this foundation. This is so... It's like the middle of the road between the Anastasia and the Elle Maquillage, or the Anastasia and the Kojin Dough Aqua Foundation. It has a little bit more coverage than the Kojin Dough, obviously a little bit less than the Anastasia. The color ranges are beautiful. They have some really beautiful deep tone foundations too that are really impressive. But I just find this foundation to be completely weightless. It doesn't feel like anything on the skin. You don't have to set it if you don't want to. You can set it if you do. It's just, again, another well-made, impressive foundation that I look forward to wearing into 2020. All right, so that is all I have for you as far as foundations. So let's go into powders. Again, just for the foundations, there are so many that came out this year that were beautiful. But again, I just had to narrow them down, and these are my Rockstar go-to, and they will now be traveling up into my bathroom because they've been in my studio. All right, so powders, you guys. Now, all of these powders have different purposes, and I just want to break them down really quickly. Most of them are new launches in 2019. Some of them are just a little bit earlier or have been around, but they're new to me. First of all is Hourglass's Mineral Veil Powder. It is absolutely stunning. It is talc-free, and it is beautiful for all skin types. I wouldn't necessarily say it's going to be mattifying for somebody that has oilier skin, but this one and the Charlotte Tilbury powder are the two that I gravitate towards the most for my skin type if I'm setting the whole face and really want to lock something in. You know me, I don't use setting powders all that often, but these are the two that I gravitate towards for myself if I am actually really needing to set something. They have a beautiful kind of soft blurring effect to themselves. They have skincare properties in them, well, Charlotte does, and they are just very well made, powders. I mean, both of these can be used under the eyes. I've used them under the eyes. They just are really great for giving a soft focus and a mattifying kind of effect to the skin. Again, because they do have optical blurring technology into here, so they do have a slight shift to them. So if you are oily, that one I would say you're going to go with the next one, which is a beautiful launch by Milk. This is their translucent light, and it is their blur and set powder. If I really am going for something and I really want to be matte and I want to add glow in strategic places, and it's something that I'm really, it's, an hour-long makeup thing, maybe something special or whatever, I have been known to use this quite often. I use this in my kit too, but it is perfect for oily skin, and it is talc-free, of course. They're cruelty-free brand. I just love this brand. They're doing some amazing things, but if you guys have not tried the Milk blurring powder, it is fantastic. And I can't go another year without totally tooting the Ambient Light powder from Hourglass. They are so beautiful. It's the only thing that I set my under eyes with. It's the only thing. Of course, I will use these, in a bind if I have to. And when I tried them out, I wanted to make sure that they were okay under the eyes. But you guys, it's just, if you're sleeping on this because of the price, get the mini. It will last you forever. And it's just so worth it. Yeah, and if you ever want me to do a video on how different, because I apply this many different ways, so let me know in the comment section if you want a whole video on how to apply this powder, in my personal opinion. But this is fantastic. It's a finishing powder. I use it to set under the eyes. What I have been known to do is I will say this is the next one. This is the Well People. This is the bio-based pressed foundation. So good, beautiful. I have it on right now. So what you can do is you can set your whole face with something like this or something like this, and then you take a big old fluffy brush, go into your ambient lighting powder. I use diffuse light and ethereal for my skin tone, and this is used as a traditional finishing powder, which will add a soft blurring effect, a radiance to the skin, and just overall healthy glow. All right, so yes, Well People's pressed foundation. It is a exact dupe for MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. I did a whole video on powder foundations, and this is one of the ones I used. It's gorgeous. And then Milani's Prep, Set, and Glow. So this is a fantastic kind of more drugstore version of, for example, say the ambient lighting powders. I wouldn't say that it's an exact dupe, but it does do a really nice job on giving a very soft glow. It does set the foundation, and you can use this under liquid foundation. That's a technique I also spoke about on my channel, where you use powder first and then your liquid foundation over it. Sometimes that helps people for staying power. A lot of people don't want to use powder afterwards, so using it before is a whole different technique. So you should search my channel for that. It's called Makeup in Reverse, I believe, and if I can find it or remember, I'll put it in the description box. But those are my powders that were absolutely outstanding. Powders for me, they are hard for me to sign off on because they have to be very good at what they do. The Cover FX powders are not, the pressed ones are great too, but the loose powders, I talked about them in my 2018 roundups. It's still great. It's still one of the better powders out there as well. But yeah, so that is my foundation and powder roundup for 2019. I would love to hear from you guys what your favorite foundations of 2019 were, and I'm looking forward to getting back into exploring some new foundations for 2020. All right, thank you guys so much for making 2019 such an amazing year for me, and I'll see you on the next one. Lots of love from me to you. Bye, loves.